Now then, last 5 minutes of my ride today on the cross bike. Great ride, about 90 minutes of slipping and sliding all over the place. Today's video is a day in the life of what I eat, so let's take it through it.
Good morning. It is Monday morning, it is 6:30. I have currently been up for half an hour, and today this video is all about what I eat in a day to optimize performance, recovery, and to keep a fairly lean physique all year round. To put this video into context, this is the off season for me now. So it's middle of November. There is a shift in my training and my eating. I do a lot of gym work in the winter. I'm lifting 4 days a week, and the quality is really in the gym work. On the alternate days to the gym, I ride my bike, not too much intensity. I only do 1, potentially 2 intense sessions on the bike a week. The rest of it is just easy riding. So today is one of those days. I'm just simply out for 90 minutes, turning the pedals on my cross bike, doing some skill work. Also, to give you some context, I am currently 80 kilos. My race weight in season is about 76 kilos. So between race season and now, I have put on about 4 kilos of muscle, as well as a little bit of fat mass as well. I regularly test my fat mass ratio and muscle mass ratio, and I never go over 7% body fat generally. I operate between 6 and 7%. Right now I'm at 6.8%, and I'll maintain that all the way through the winter. So to also put this into context, my maintenance calories for kind of just day-to-day activities is typically for me about 2,500 calories. As soon as I start training, obviously that starts to ramp up, and depending on how intense and how long the training is, it could ramp up all the way up to 6,000 calories sometimes. One thing I need to be mindful of this year, or this time of year, sorry, is how much weight training has an effect on calorie expenditure. Not only while you're lifting, but also what it does to your metabolism throughout the entirety of the day. Lifting is incredibly centrally fatiguing, and it takes a lot of recovery and a lot of calories to get you back to baseline. So yeah, typical days for me now are between 3 to 3.5 thousand calories a day, just to maintain weight. And throughout that, at the minute, I am slowly starting to build my lean mass. I'm putting on a little bit of weight ever so slightly, which I'm happy with, because I'm keeping an eye on the scales, I'm keeping an eye on my fat mass and muscle mass, and I'm putting on some hypertrophy, putting on some strength, and my the weight in which I'm lifting in the gym is going up, so I'm happy at the minute. When it gets to January, February, I'll be a bit more critical and start to wean off the food a little bit, and that weight will start to slowly decline at a very slow rate, until I operate back to race weight about 76 kilos. I get questions sometimes on what diet I follow, or what, specific interventions I follow with regards to what I eat. The answer to that is I don't follow any type of specific diet at all. I'm not a vegan, which I've had a couple of questions about. I do get my protein sources from meats and fish, eggs, as well as some plant-based protein sources as well. The best way of explaining my diet would be a fairly balanced diet. It's fairly high in protein. I operate about 2 grams per kilo of body weight. So somewhere between 160 and 180 grams of protein a day. And then I will manipulate. Now this is an important part to my diet. I use carbohydrate manipulation. So I will manipulate carbohydrates depending on what I'm doing that day. That being said, today is a fairly low intensity day. I don't need the carbohydrates to really fuel the training particularly. So I will generally have a lower carbohydrate day around that training and post training. On the contrary to that, if it was a very high intensity day, I would specifically manipulate that day so that I have more carbohydrates pre, intra and post training. So far today, I have had as simple as a glass of water. I go to bed at night with a pint of water. And if I don't consume it during the night when I get up to the toilet or whatever, then I will have it straight away when I wake up. I will often usually have another one, so within the first half an hour I'll have 2 pints of water. I'll brush my teeth, I'll walk downstairs and I'll stick the kettle on. I will then make a black coffee with no sugar, just to get the juices flowing, the digestive system flowing, and get my mind into action while I reply to a few emails and get ready to eat. If I'm absolutely ravenous when I wake up, really hungry, that's usually the case when I'm at a deficit from the previous day. So do not underestimate the power of our brains. If you wake up and you are very hungry, it usually means that you need to eat. You're at a deficit from the previous day's training and calories, so you need to eat fairly sharpish to accelerate recovery. Usually, if I've been fairly on it and I have made sure that I match the demand of calories the previous day, then I won't need to eat straight away. I can wait half an hour to an hour while I reply to a couple of emails, then I'll start to eat. My breakfast choice varies depending on the activity that day, as I explained. So whether it's a high carbohydrate breakfast or a low carbohydrate breakfast. It also depends on what I fancy as well, to be honest. Like I say, it's kind of the off season at the minute, so I'm not really critical about what I eat. Generally my breakfast it goes down 2 pathways. It's either egg-based or it is oat-based. So it's either an omelette or kind of banana pancake type of thing, protein pancake, i.e. eggs, or it is oats. So it's porridge oats or overnight oats, something like that, with protein in there as well. Sometimes I'll just have like a smoothie, protein smoothie with some fruit in it. But that's tends to be more summer when I'm kind of thinking a bit more about weight loss. Okay, so I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get the kettle on, have a coffee while I reply to a few emails, and then we will get cracking with the day. So because I was getting really hungry, I actually forgot to record me putting my stuff in the bowl. But here we go. I have already done it. I've put 100 grams of porridge oats into the bowl. Along with this morning, I've gone with a scoop of chocolate flavoured vegan blend protein from My Protein. I also put in a bit of raw cocoa because this is going to be like a chocolate oats recipe. Again, stay away from dairy in the morning. I stick in some almond milk, give this a mix around, and then that goes in the microwave. 1.5 minutes, bosh. So, steaming away at me. It's a bit dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more almond milk. And then with this, I will just top it with some things which will make it a little bit more tasty and a little bit more colourful. Blueberries, we've got some raspberries, might add a little bit of banana, and I may add some nut butter, either peanut butter or almond butter, just to get a few fats in there. Obviously, if you're trying to really be, if you're trying to lose weight or kind of watch your calories, then things like nut butters, you would absolutely try and stay away from, because they are quite calorie dense foods. I am not on trying to lose weight at the minute. If anything, I'm just trying to gain a little bit of weight in muscle at this time of year. So yeah, I'm just trying to get a bit of calories in the morning, and fuel the work required today. So meal number one, as I explained, 90 grams of porridge oats, a scoop of vegan blend protein, a teaspoon of cocoa. We've got raspberries, blueberries, half a banana, a bit of almond butter, and some flaxseed on there. It's 8:30. I'm going to eat this, let that digest for a couple of hours. So it's 10 o'clock, just about to go out on my ride, just getting geared up now. Quick snack, 2 rice cakes, a little bit of peanut butter, and the other half of banana. Just enough to kind of spike my blood sugar levels up a little bit and fuel the ride for the first hour or so.
Last 5 minutes of my ride today on the cross bike. Great ride, about 90 minutes of slipping and sliding all over the place. The bike's blathered, I'm blathered, but I've had such a nice ride.
Okay, excuse all the mud on my face. I have just got back from my cross ride. I aren't going to glorify it. I've just been cleaning my bike for about 20 minutes because it was absolutely filthy, but it was well worth it because the cross ride was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. I have been cooking for about 2 minutes. This is just how quick this lunch is. This is where it deviates off. If I was prioritising recovery and I wanted, I might have been training this afternoon or first thing tomorrow with a lot of intensity, I would be specifically trying to tailor this lunch to optimise recovery. That being said, fast digesting proteins, fast digesting carbohydrates as soon as possible. I may even take a recovery shake, get a shower, then have like a second lunch once I get back, or a proper meal after my shower. However, I'm not training this afternoon, and tomorrow's I'm in the gym tomorrow, but not till late morning, so plenty of time to recover and fuel up before then. Today's lunch is more prioritising general health, and so there's some good fats in there, some good quality proteins, and essentially this is what it is. It is a load of vegetables in a pan, fried up. I actually had some leftover mashed potato from last night's cottage pie, so I chucked that in as well just for my carbohydrate source, but there's not much in there. Courgettes, spinach, peas, onions, some tuna in there. Vegetables work so well together in different combinations. You can't really go wrong. If you've got some leftover veg, chuck them in a pan with a little bit of oil and a can of fish, and there you've got a really healthy, balanced meal. dark chocolate rice cake, coffee, absolutely spot on.
Oh. So I've just got back from the dog walk. It is 4 o'clock and I've got about half an hour before I need to go off to my next appointment. So I'm just gonna have another little meal. I won't be eating my tea until about 7:30 tonight. So obviously we've got about 3.5 hours between now and then. So if I don't have something now, I'll be very, very hungry. And also I'll be missing out on a big window opportunity for some protein and to kind of optimize recovery from this morning session. So with that being said, I'm just going to have 3 eggs scrambled in there, maybe sweeten it up with a bit of cinnamon and a couple of raisins, a bit of fruit. Yeah, that'll see me through then until this evening's meal.
Okay, so evening meal. Today is quite an unusual day in that I'm actually staying at my parents' house tonight, so I haven't got loads in the cupboard. I'm actually dog sitting and house sitting for my parents. So a typical Aldi shop, loads of greens. So I got some curly kale, that was 39p that was. Some spinach, avocado, cottage cheese, mange tout, which I've already started to eat, bags open. Some salmon fillets, some really good fats and really good quality protein, and some rice cakes as well. This evening I've raided my mum's cupboards and I've found some whole grain rice. It's 7:30 now, so I'm going to crack on. Don't want to be cooking rice or anything. I'm going to have a pack of whole grain rice with salmon fillets, and I'll fry up some curly kale with some mange tout and a bit of baby spinach, and that'll be my meal for this evening. So it's 9 o'clock now. I'll be going to bed in about half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm just mindful that I'm a little bit low on calories at the minute. I'm not massively hungry, I'm a little bit peckish. So this is where I wouldn't eat now normally if I was trying to lose a little bit of weight, because that would give me my deficit. But I'm mindful that I'm about 400-500 calories down on what I should be eating really. So I'm just going to have 3 or 4 rice cakes with some peanut butter spreaded on that, some sliced banana and some cottage cheese. Again, that'll give me about 20 grams of protein. And yeah, that'll just finish my day off nicely. So key points to my diet then. Point number 1, adopt a high protein diet. Number 2, have very little or no sugar. Number 3, loads of vegetables. Number 4, protein cycling. Number 5, enjoy your food.